I do not have a credit card. I haven't had a credit card in 10 plus years. It is August 2nd, 2024, 2:22 a.m. I am in my father's shed at the Red and White Barn Home. Been here since about 8:50 p.m. Before that, I slept in Fontana Park in his truck, my father's truck, for a little bit because I couldn't drive. I was so tired, I was starting to fall asleep. So I went to Fontana Park, and on my way back from Independence, Iowa, where I went to Burger King, and the guys working there looked like Ukraine or Russian guys. I've never had any connection to Russia or Ukraine. I see a lot of bunch of stuff in the news about Russia and Ukraine and the prisoner swap again. I've never had anything to do with Russia or Ukraine. Why do I feel this like this has something to do with stage lies about my life? Yesterday, the August 1st, I left home at 6 a.m. This is going to be audio only for youtube.com/@symbol IAMWADEHEINEMN, Wade Allen Heineman. Left home at August 1st at 6 a.m. I had slept that night in my Prius, did not unload it, in the field west of the property where I live. And before 6:10 a.m. when I left on August 1st, went and fed the cats. So I opened the mobile home door, went and got inside, got the cat food, went out to the shed where I always feed the cats, fed the cats. Then I went back, put the cat food back, left the property at 6:10 a.m., went over to my parents' Red and White Barn Home, hooked up the car trailer, basically. It's a skid loader trailer for my father. I didn't even know he had one, to his white Dodge Ram Eco Diesel pickup. And I went and picked up a 0-point turn John Deere lawnmower for him in Woodward, Iowa, which is down by Boone, Iowa, Ames, Iowa. Down there by myself, drove back, and I got back to the Social Security office in Waterloo about 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. And I went in there and tried to clear some of the things up because it's hard for me to know what they have for information and what they don't have, because some of it doesn't show up on the paperwork that they give me. So it's difficult for me to know what their list shows and what I have conveyed to them, because I don't trust the caseworker, because he counted some money that they had just deposited from SSI against my $2,000 of allowed holdings. That's all you can have on Social Security. So I have a distrust for him already, because I feel like he intentionally did that. But so I stopped in there and tried to clear some things up. That a Veridian account I have is for a repossessed vehicle from 2018. When I call Veridian and make a payment to them every month, it is for a balance that was on the account because they sold the car that I had on loan at auction, and they didn't get a very good price for it. So I have to pay back whatever money that they didn't make back on the loan because they sold it at auction. So that's what the account there is for. They closed all my other accounts in 2018. So I tried to clear that up. There's something else I tried to clear up there. I can't remember right now. But like I said, I don't know what their paperwork shows. I know what I've conveyed to them, and I'm getting indications that there was something improper like that, like there was a savings account or something. The only account I have is Reedland Bank, and I've not had a credit card in 10 plus years. It's been indicated that somebody's credit card is being charged when I go to gas stations or something. I have my debit card, VISA debit card from Reedland Bank. I haven't had a credit card in over 10 years. I've never had any connection to Russia or Ukraine. So those things, hopefully I got those cleared up again, whatever stage lies. I drove down to Woodward, Iowa from about 7 a.m. after I got the truck loaded. I unloaded all my stuff from my Prius into my dad's truck because I don't trust it anywhere, my stuff. So it's all in my dad's truck yet. I didn't have the energy to unload it last night because it was so hot and humid, and I hadn't slept well the night before because I slept in my Prius. So I didn't get the truck unloaded. My parents went to happy hour with the Legion. They get together with the Legion people because my dad was in the National Guard in the 60s and 70s. And I couldn't get the energy to unload the stuff out of the dad's truck. So I went and got something to eat. And I went to Oline first, then I went to Independence because I just it wasn't working out getting something to eat in Oline. I don't want to try and explain all that, but it was just because of circumstances with the workers and stuff, and not people I knew. It was just so I drove to Independence to Burger King, and then the people there that were working there were all guys. They all look like either Ukraine or Russian guys. Again, I have not had any connection to Russia or Ukraine ever. Whoever's claiming I had connection to Russia or Ukraine ever in my life is staging lies. I've said this over and over again. My sister gave me a T-shirt in the 1990s from the Russian subway system. When she went to Russia, she brought that back as a souvenir. My sister Tracy, who died in 2003 in San Francisco. I wore that because I was a geography major and I had taken Russia, Soviet Union because that was what was being offered the semester that I took the requirement for a geography, like a geography of a country around the world. They were offering Russia, Soviet Union. I think I took Canada as well because one of the two I didn't pass because I stopped going to classes that semester. So I took Canada and I took Russia, Soviet Union because that was what was offered. They don't offer multiple ones in the semester that you sign up. So that's why I had books from Soviet Union. Because I was a geography major. My sister went to Soviet Union and Russia and other places around the world. I didn't. I've never been outside the mainland United States and Cancun area, Mexico one time, and just over the border in Canada. That's the only places I've ever traveled in the United States of America. Catalina Island. That's it. That's the only places I've ever been in my life. So, and I've not been on a plane or jet since 2011. I don't know why people are trying to connect me to Russia or Ukraine. This, again, I think I saw this guy named Kevin follow me into a gas station in Ames on the way back from Woodward after I picked up the zero-turn mower. This guy named Kevin was a co-worker and friends with my ex-girlfriend from 2014. They both worked for the same government office. She said she was a computer programmer for a federal government agency. And this guy, Kevin, would send her photos of the Ukraine army, like a guy in the Ukraine army when they were young. And he said that was him in the Ukraine army when he was young. So I don't know if they were trying to portray me as from Ukraine or Russia back then already, or back in the 90s when I wore a T-shirt that said, the Moscow subway system because my sister gave me a T-shirt, or because I took Russia, Soviet Union as a class for geography, a requirement. At that time, it was a requirement to take one of those classes, a class where it's dedicated to a country throughout the world. And they were, at that time, it was Russia, Soviet Union that they had. So I don't know why I'm being somehow they're trying to connect me to Russia or Ukraine. I've never had any connection whatsoever to Russia or Ukraine. A friend of mine, he was more of a friend of my brother's, Eric. They married a woman from Ukraine in the 1990s, and they, were together all the time. Eric looks similar to me, and they've lived in Chicago area since the early 2000s together. So that'd be the only person from Ukraine I've ever met. I think a guy from the New York, New Jersey area sold me a Jeep Grand Cherokee in the 2000s. That was from there because I used to go to the East Coast because there were better vehicles for cheaper prices that you could get from the East Coast and bring them back to Iowa and sell them for a little bit of money. That was after my sister committed suicide, and I was having problems in my life, and I wasn't searching for a job at the time, and I was trying to make a little bit of money buying and selling vehicles for a little while. And I did that kind of throughout the late 2000s, but I didn't make a lot of money. I may have portrayed to my friends that I made more money than I did, because that's the one thing I would lie to my friends about, how much money I was making, because I don't know, it's kind of a thing, a guy thing, I think. I was a little embarrassed that I wasn't doing very well at the time. So that's the truth. But that was the one thing I would lie to my friends about, is how much money I would be making on stuff like that. But that was mainly in the 2000s. So I've never had any connection to Russia, Soviet Union, China, Iran, or any other country, Israel, or any other country. USA is the only country I've ever had a connection to. I am a loyal USA citizen, born 11/4/71 in Iowa. Always lived in Iowa, circumcised in Iowa. No changes since that time. Met natural male heterosexual. I would never be with a male transgender child. I'm not attracted to them, those groups of people at all. And I'm just so tired of all the lies about my life. But I'm in my father's shed. It's about 2:30 a.m. on August 2nd. I'm in his white Dodge right now because all my stuff's still in it. At some point, I'll probably transfer it to my car. But I'm looking for a different vehicle because I need a vehicle to haul stuff to the property in Northwest Iowa that I intend to make my home. So, I didn't get anything done this summer, which I intended to do because of this people breaking into my home car, sabotaging my life, staging lies. It's the same thing over and over again for 10 years. I don't make any progress in my life because of these people. And unless you're in that situation, you wouldn't understand it. I get criticized for every little thing while my life is being tortured and suppressed truth and staged lies constantly. And they just ignore that fact, the people that judge me. I have severe PTSD. You got to start there. If you're going to judge me at all, I have severe PTSD for very valid reasons that are ongoing. Staged lies, people breaking into my home, staging lies, people breaking into my home, stealing my life, stealing my stuff, stealing the valuable stones that I could try and get off of SSI with. I don't have any hope of getting off of SSI unless I can somehow make money and establish a home that I can have a shower, some normalcy, have more than one extension cord running all my power. I have to have, some stability in order to get off of that. And the only way for me to do that is to get a chunk of money from selling these stones as I legally gathered off my parents' property. And then these criminals keep breaking in and stealing them. Or if I can get a job somehow and maintain a job, which with severe PTSD being triggered daily, there's not many jobs I can do. And that's the truth. And if people try and judge me because of that, I can just give you two middle fingers and an F you, because that's what you deserve. I've already been tortured for 10 years. 10.7-inch hands, green eyes, not blue, 6'1", 52 years old. X.com/WADES2ND is me. YouTube.com/@ I am WADEHEINEMAN. I haven't been on my other phone in a while. I noticed the face is all cracked up from it. I think it's because I been sleeping on my rocks when I would put them in the mobile home. Probably when I turned over, I accidentally smashed it up against couple of the rocks when I was asleep, or the frauds had it or something. I think I probably broke when it was in my pocket and I was sleeping on rocks. So, I put some padding in between me and the rocks, but still, that sometimes would come out in between me and the rocks, and it's not the most comfortable situation, as you can imagine, but I couldn't figure out any other way to try and keep the frauds away from the valuable stones that I'd gathered, because I can't keep them out of my home and vehicle while I'm asleep. So there's little I can do to protect myself, which, as you can imagine, greatly exacerbates my PTSD. So any depiction that I had any interaction or communication with anyone other than my parents the last few days, again, is staged lies. I know they've been staging lies again. Tonight I got on YouTube and I saw that one of the Filipinas that I sometimes watch her videos was on live stream. So I opened her live stream briefly and said hi. And I don't know her other than, I watch her videos, and like I said, I sent her like $20 to $30 worth of gifts before. I haven't sent her anything in months. Off of her, she has a little list of things that she asks for, which, I like her videos. I appreciate her videos, and she's not a rich person, so I feel like I was perfectly fine in sending her $20 to $30 worth of gifts for appreciating what she does. She gives a lot of information about the Philippines, and I just enjoy her videos. So, and I think she's cute. I think she's, I'm a little flirtatious with her, as I am with any woman I'm attracted to. And she is a natural adult female. She's not a lady boy. So same thing with the female I chatted with in 2013, 2014. So, I don't know what else I have. There's probably something that I haven't gotten conveyed. But yesterday I went down to Woodward, Iowa. Took off from my parents about 7. I left my home about 6:10 a.m. and I got back Social Security office in Waterloo about 1 p.m. I left Waterloo about 1:30, and I got back to my parents' place about 2 with the zero-turn John Deere mower for my father. It's his mower. It was his truck. It was his trailer. He owns the trailer in half with my brother, I guess, which I don't really like. I was towing the trailer that my brother half owns, but it's my father's. He said it was in his name, so it, that's what the situation was. It was my father's truck, and he claimed it was half his trailer with my brother Ryan Heineman, and I got back here about 2 p.m. and unloaded the mower, and what else? 2 p.m. unloaded the mower. I was so tired at that point. I was waiting to get some energy to unload the truck, and I just never got it because it was so hot and humid here. So when my parents left to go to happy hour, then I just left and went to get some food in Dad's truck because it was still loaded with my stuff, and it still is. I haven't unloaded into my Prius yet. And then I went to get some food, went to Owine Independence, got back here at 8:50 because I slept in Fontana Park in Dad's truck for a little while because I couldn't stay awake driving. I was getting to the point where I was going to fall asleep driving, so I pulled off into Fontana Park and slept, even though it was only 15 minutes from home at that point. I just couldn't make it all the way home. So just exhausted yesterday, and whatever the stage lies, no interaction with anyone other than my parents that I knew, and those people that I went to get the mower from, I didn't know them either. One of those guys is named Jake. So I'm going to sign off here. This is audio only again. August 2nd, 2024, 2:30 a.m. around that time. Wade Heineman is for youtube.com/@symbol IAMWADEHEINEMAN. I've done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong to be punished for anything. I don't know what all the Russia-Ukraine stuff is. Again, it has nothing to do with me.